We just do 2 hours of balls?
Because you don't fucking listen to me.
Oh, jeez.
Another quick one.
It's good content. Here we are, Abe Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
Are we doing another one of these this week?
What?
Another sports. This is the look back show, right?
Yeah, this is not the
Then I'm okay.
week 3 preview show.
I'm okay.
Are you concerned that you'd have to make picks tonight or something like that?
No, the question of how am I doing will depend upon.
So are we looking
fine.
back?
I'm looking back fine.
So you're looking back more fondly upon Georgia versus Austin P than you would be looking forward to.
I mean, the whole weekend of college
Georgia
football.
versus
I'm
Tennessee.
looking back fondly at the weekend of college football we just had. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm okay.
Better in reality than it was on paper, as
Like I told you.
many such cases. But that's because on paper it was a pile of wet dog shit.
Yes.
And so almost anything was going to be better than that. Abe, you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend.
Holy shit, a great
I don't
weekend.
know if
you
that's
heard-
ever happened.
Have you heard the great news? It's been the 11-year streak of season opening losses or draws came to a glorious end. I mean, what a remarkable game this weekend. Colts, Dolphins. I'll get to the Dolphins in a second. YouTube is not aware of this, but I am protesting their egregious Sunday ticket pricing for existing customers.
Okay.
They're not giving me the new
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, there's
So-
quite a deal for, and you can go. They're advertising. You can go month to month.
Yeah,
you can pay
all of that stuff.
You can pay what, half of what those suckers who've been paying for YouTube, Direct TV, whatever, a Sunday ticket in the past. Like, why is that? Why do we always punish people who have become the foundation upon which these companies build their success? It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But to protest that, don't have Sunday ticket, and the Colts are not a marquee team, so it's not being shown down here in Atlanta. So I have to go to a sports bar. I know that in the long run it's going to be more expensive to do this, but just out of spite, I'm going to spend more money at a sports bar.
It might be more fun.
Than with YouTube TV's bullshit. Anyways. Colts Dolphins. I was a little worried because the Colts always suck to begin the year.
I don't want to. Sorry to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the normal crowd at a sports bar on a Sunday, and the commercials all make it seem like it's a great rowdy time with all of your most funny and interesting pals out there. But mostly it's like, here comes that one dude again who's here for 6 hours every Sunday, right? Like, is that not more of the crowd than it is like just rowdy packs of friends just yucking it up?
So it depends. If there's like a big game like this upcoming weekend, like the bars will be full of people watching the Tennessee Georgia game. Like they'll be like just watching that. But like
Right.
On Sunday, I mean it was a very heavy Falcons crowd, because they're playing at the same time. And there's a lot of like people have their fantasy whatever. I was just kind of just chilling, just watching the game. But it's the crowd.
You'll grow weary of the public, and then you'll fork
that's
your
what YouTube
hundreds of
TV
dollars
thinks,
back
yes.
over to mommy Google at some point in the near future.
Never.
Lord Google.
Anyway, it was a great weekend just on the strength of just that 3-hour window where the Colts looked like the greatest team ever. Maybe they won't ever lose a game. The Dolphins appear to be a dumpster fire. There's that name that people give Tua that it was very fitting this weekend. Tua turned the ball over. Like that's the thing that they do with his name because it's hard to say.
That's not nice.
And he kept
not
on
nice.
doing that. He threw the
Borderline racist.
It's mostly
Maybe
ra- I
I'm
don't
just
think
in a
it's
hearing
borderline.
racist stuff kind of
I
move.
think it's
but
like just racist.
But he turned the ball over 3 times. It was just an atrocious. I've never seen quarterback play that bad. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about concussions, but it's got to be all that head trauma is coming back to bite him. He just looks done.
Yeah. How was Indiana Jones?
Oh, he was amazing. I mean, again, you have the top tier. The Bills and the Ravens played the Sunday night game, and those 2 quarterbacks in Mahomes are in that top elite tier. Right behind them, Indiana Jones.
So we're now in the Joe Flacco period of the Daniel Jones career,
right.
where we are questioning whether or not Daniel Jones is elite.
That's right.
Joe Flacco, notably not elite any longer, certainly.
Yeah. It's sometimes you just need a change of scenery.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you had a good time watching the NFL. I watched no football on Sunday until we turned on that 8:00 game
We watched some football at dinner.
on NBC.
Did you guys stick through the whole thing? Because I turned the TV
So-
off
No,
when
we
it got...
went to bed.
No, we went to bed because we had baseball. I was at the ball
We were
field
exhausted.
from like 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock or so in the evening, various ball fields, I should say. And then
We were
we
tired.
went out to dinner and made it home. And I didn't even get the Ravens-Bills game on until like the start of the second quarter after the kids were in bed. And I watched it, and it was entertaining, and there were plenty of fun moments. But then it was like, this one's done.
Yeah.
I'm not staying up late to watch the Ravens run away with this anymore.
I mean, I didn't even consider it. The score, it could have been tied. It was bedtime.
Yeah, sure. But then, I wake up in the morning, and holy shit.
Yeah, they can't.
The Bills came back. Ravens did not score after I went to bed, and the Bills climbed all the way back into it.
No one buys into the ESPN analytic, the probability bullshit that they do, like 90-something percent.
You know why that still happens, though? Because it is guaranteed to generate screenshots
Yes.
and then text messages among friend groups or just between pals.
Yes.
Right? Like I say, I woke up to news of the game going one way or the other. It's true. I had an ESPN notification.
Yeah.
I might have had a notification from the Athletic as well.
Yeah.
I think in my Google News feed, it was like Bills late comeback stunner to defeat Ravens. But I also had a text message that showed the win probability chart for the Bills-Ravens game, where it's 98.3% or something when they had a 15-point lead with 5.5 minutes to go.
Right.
And
Yeah,
not
I
so
think
much.
that's precisely why they do have that stat.
Which I'm sure we've discussed this in the past, but like those charts, I'm sure they're informed by the entire history of every NFL game that's ever happened.
Right.
Like, so 98.3% of the time that a road team has a 15-point lead with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left on the clock, that team wins. I assume is at least. I assume it's not 98.3% because this has only happened something like 4 times in the last 15. I forget what the stat is, but like very rarely has a team who trailed by this much with this little time to go has the team come back and won it, specifically also in regulation, right?
Yeah.
So like there's a weird does it also factor in other advanced maths, or is it just
I doubt it.
Is it just history?
That's a good question.
It's got to be just history.
Yeah.
Because it's so old.
But they have all of these analytics that say things like
They're not going to give them to us.
no, they're not going to, but they will give us the finished product. They're not going, what they won't give us is like everything that goes into it because like that also informs all of the gambling stuff, right? So like it's all just statistical modeling. I assume that it is based largely in history, but also I imagine that there must be some sort of, we have plugged our secret sauce into this to try to make this mean something.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure there's some other that can't just be it. It can't just be like looking back. There's got to be some other component also. There was some post floating out there earlier today where the Ravens apparently are very good at choking. Like there have been a handful of games just in the past 5 years where they crept into that 90% chance of winning. And I think like 5 to 8 games where they've lost those like 90+% games.
Right.
And it's not clear as to what's causing it because, for a while.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, obviously.
I mean,
is the
Lamar
problem.
Jackson would, in the past, he would play poorly. That wasn't the case this time. I mean, Henry fumbles the ball. Like, other things happen. It wasn't his doing.
I remember when I think I turned off the TV, or maybe it was just a few minutes after, but the last play that I remember was a 2-play series where they look like they have Lamar Jackson sacked for a 20-yard loss.
Yeah.
Right? He just retreats and retreats and retreats. There are 2 fucking idiot Bills that run into each other 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage trying to make a tackle on him, and then he's gone for, I think, a 19-yard gain. And Collinsworth is like, that's 19 yards, but I think he ran about 60 on that play. And I think that was probably like a conservative estimate of how much ground he actually traversed on the play. And then on the next play from scrimmage, Derrick Henry knocks a dude over like 3 yards past the line of scrimmage and then is just gone.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's just for the score. I was like, oh, well, this is done.
Yeah.
I can be done paying attention to whatever happens from here on out. And Henry did that like 3 or 4 times, just in the time that I was watching it, where he seemingly just comes out of a scrum as though he has some sort of a power that is just not available to other people. And like, because
he does.
It's not exactly like he's bowling. Like it's not always like the Herschel Walker knocking the guy over where the guy falls down. It's like he's just able to
just stronger
go into traffic and then come out of traffic on the other side.
Like the Mario star.
Right, like a Mario Invincibility Star or something.
During
like that.
the broadcast, they showed like his off-season workouts and like what's his face, Collinsworth was just kind of like talking about, he runs uphill and he's doing like these very fast sprints and lifting all this weight, and then like they cut to him like running through people and to the end zone. I mean, he's a big guy. Like as soon as he gets like just starts going, it's kind of hard to stop him. Yeah.
Fun guy to watch play the sport. Also, like I don't know, I was happy to see that the Bills came back and won it. For whatever reason, I'm less amenable to the Ravens like as a concept. I don't know what that goes back to. Anti-Baltimore bias inherent
Ray
to me.
Lewis.
Yeah, a Ray Lewis thing going on.
Redeemed,
not
by the
entirely
way.
clear.
Also, I mean, the Bills have not really done well for a while. This is, let them enjoy this.
Yeah. Although I'll add in that I also enjoyed when that stadium was full of angry people when they were clearly going to lose and like everybody was leaving.
Was that fair by the starting quarterback to take take a dig at the people who left? I mean, very gently, very kindly, but at the end, it's like, some people left, it's
all
fine.
of those
He
idiots
said
got
it
the same
very
98.3% win probability thing on their phones. Like they're not. Why stick around and wait for traffic? Get the fuck out of there.
And
The thing is, they're all gonna sit in traffic.
If it was a 1 o'clock kick,
Now.
if it was a 1 o'clock kick, you can be angrier about it. Like you could be salty about it if you're the Bills and 60,000 people leave the stadium.
How much time did those people save? If they're all leaving at once, they're fucked anyway.
Right.
No, but if you wait for the end and if it's a nice steady exit, then arguably things go better. It's when everybody waits until the end that you're double fucked.
How honest are the people who leave early, like in a situation like that? The next day you're at the office and like, hey, you were at the game, right? Like, would you volunteer that you left?
Oh, that you heard the comeback while you were sitting in traffic on the way out of the stadium?
Is that something people volunteer, or they just pretend like I was there for the whole
these
time?
days it's I'm sure it's like Snapchats or it didn't happen kind of situation, right? Like if you didn't take your phone out and take a picture of the scoreboard with you selfie style at the end, then you can't prove that you were there.
Right.
Ticket stubs not enough. But yeah, like I said, that was basically all of the NFL. We watched the Thursday night game until the weather delay happened.
That's right.
Right? Wasn't that the Thursday night game where they shut things down for 2 hours because of lightning?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we're going to bed.
That's when I learned that the hardest thing to do in football is to warm up.
Was there also a weather delay for the Georgia game? There was like a lot
Yes.
of weather
Yeah,
related.
2 hour
Yeah,
weather
so
delay
lots
for
of
Georgia.
hard football this weekend with all the warming up happening.
Yes.
The hard part.
I did want to touch on something that happened in that Ravens game. I don't know if you saw the clip, but after who's the old tech? DeAndre Hopkins, former longtime Texans wide receiver, who's now Where was he after the
He
Texans?
kind of
Was it
bounced around for a bit. He played for the Titans for a season. He played
Right.
for some other teams. Yeah, just
bouncing around, trying to find a good situation, probably hopes to get a title here. I think he's like 33, 34 years old at this point. So getting old, but can still play the game. Made a nice catch, scored a touchdown.
Great catch, yeah.
Which, brief aside here. So we've seen the Odell Beckham catch since Odell Beckham did it.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a sports adjacent question of the week, I suppose, if you wanted to phrase it that way. But I don't remember, like, because the singularity of the Odell Beckham catch, which was, I think it was a Sunday night game, and he lays out full, right? And it's just one-handed, and it's a thing of athletic beauty and grace. And, like, the reason that it stood out was because you couldn't really think of times that you'd seen anything quite like that before. Right? Like, it was truly a singular thing. Since that, it happens like once every other week. Right? There was a college kid Beck threw one
It was a Miami guy.
in that first game
Really
for
amazing.
Miami, where the guy essentially snatches it out of the safety's hands by reaching up and taking it out of the air for the touchdown. And it was a spectacular catch, not diminishing it at all. But because we've seen it 25 times since Odell Beckham did it, like, did Odell Beckham doing it, like, invent the permission structure for everyone else to realize that, like, in the same way that, like, Usain Bolt or like Michael Johnson in the 90s would run the fastest man alive, right? And now he's set the bar at 9.96 or whatever it was that he ran at.
Yeah.
And now Usain Bolt's record is like 9.58, right? And there's nobody alive today that can come anywhere near 9.58. But like 25 years from now, maybe we got different treads on the bottom of the shoes,
that's
or
the thing.
track
It's
is made of different material, and we have 30 more years of advances in nutrition science and training and all of that stuff. Somebody will be at 9.45 or something like that.
I mean, it'll definitely happen before 25 years. Take the under. Easy under.
Right. The record will be pushed, right, beyond the... And I'm sure that there are science-y articles that you can read that say, at some point, we are approaching the upper limit of what the human body as currently understood is capable of achieving. But I'm talking less about that sort of thing and more just about, like, Odell Beckham put into the world the theory of the leaping, stretching, fully extended one-handed catch that before just didn't happen. And it's a combination of technology, like the gloves are made of different stuff than they used to be.
Core strength.
The athletes are in better shape than they've ever been before. But, like, is it just the fact that, like, that Miami kid who made that catch, how many times on the playground since, when did Beckham make that catch? Like
10 years ago?
Pop quiz, hotshot. What year did Odell Beckham do the
20.
spectacular catch?
I would say 2015.
I got 2014 in my head, but
I don't
know. November 23rd, 2014.
14, look at that.
Who said that? Was that me? You said 15, I said 14.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if I finished the question, but you know what the question I'm asking is. Is this just...
So,
if you would shut up, it would get answered.
You know, it's interesting you make this point. I hadn't considered it, but, like, remember that... the 4-minute mile, like Roger Bannister. Like, no one was able to do it. He did it, and then all of a sudden, everybody was, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were like...
everybody. Me too, man.
I busted out 2 this morning. Bang, bang.
You know, there is something to, like, once you see something is possible, then it happens, or it's more likely. Although, you know...
Right, so, like, this was November 2014. This kid, the kid on Miami 11 years ago... Like, he spent, like, so what was he, 10 or 11 years old at the oldest when that happened? So he spent his entire childhood on the playground, like, with that in the back of his head, just, like, doing that move. And you see the one-handed catch in college now all the time and in the NFL. And they're never as spectacular as Odell. Like, in terms of pure athletic feat, it's not that spectacular. But, like, a guy will be being held Like George Pickens does this all the time. He doesn't involve this fucking dummy. One of my favorite dummies just out there.
He's the worst.
Like how dumb can the human animal be and still find tremendous success in the
Being
world?
really good at one thing.
And George Pickens is a terrific example. I've never met the man, obviously. I have no idea. But like in terms of presentation in the world, he seemed like a dummy. And and like I was watching, I forget, where is he now? He's on the Cowboys now. And he was being held by somebody, and instead of like trying to fight through it, he just sort of accepted that he's being held and then just tries to make a one-handed play on the ball instead of actually. And you never used to see dudes trying to make one-handed plays on the ball. So I just I wonder if in some way Odell Beckham Jr. invented it, and now everyone else
he
is.
happened to. It's one of those things where like someone was going to. It happened to be him.
Right.
And it's because of everyone's getting more athletic and training. Like, none of the dudes in the 70s could have done any part of that catch.
Right. Anyway, what were we talking about before I went off on... DeAndre Hopkins makes a great catch, right? Scores a touchdown and is going to celebrate with his teammates, and for whatever reason, they decide to like run the gauntlet of the front row
on the road, right? This
in
is
the
not
visiting stadium. It's one thing when you do it at home. You do the Green Bay in Green Bay. You do the Lambeau Leap. Everybody pats you on the head or slams you in the chest or whatever there in the front row, and it's all fine. But they decided to like streak the sideline basically right there where the first row of the fans are, and some idiot in the front row of the at Bill's Stadium there smacks him in the helmet on the way by, and Lamar Jackson sees that happen, right? As Abe might say, he clocks that, and he does not approve. And the guy apparently reaches out to maybe give Lamar's helmet a slap, and it didn't read to me as like I'm trying to hurt you kind
they
of slap.
slap each other in the helmet all the time.
It read to me as maybe shouldn't do that, but also like it read to me as like sort of a playful smack this guy in the helmet kind of thing.
Like any player who walked by would have gotten a helmet slap.
Sure, don't do that though.
Don't do that.
Don't
touch
reach
people.
onto the field of play and smack somebody in the head, especially when it's one of the opposing players, when it can be read in a negative way. But Lamar Jackson clocked it, did not appreciate it, and then apparently thought that he was about to become this man's second victim. And as the guy like kind of rears back to do it, Lamar reaches into the stands, like goes up into the wall and gives him the old two-handed shove right in the shoulders and shoves him back. Not a great look. I haven't seen. I know that the Bills or maybe the NFL, somebody has banned the fan who did
indefinitely. I think the Buffalo Bills team.
But no Malice at the Palace style of reaction to Lamar almost going into the stands and shoving a spectator.
Like based on the circumstances, this was a proportional response to what the fan did. So it's like offsetting. Like there's no need to like. Fine, Lamar.
If it's offsetting, then the guy shouldn't be kicked out of NFL games for the rest of his life.
I guess the Buffalo Bills don't like the press that they're getting about it. I don't know why they went that far, but like at least on Lamar's side, this doesn't rise to the level of the fine.
On Lamar's side, it's offsetting penalties. No harm, no foul.
Also, if this were happening in Baltimore and a fan should still not be touching players, but like in that context, it'd be like part of the celebration.
It would be purely celebratory,
right? But this one is that you can't ascertain the motivations of the fan, right? This could be a hostile act.
He appears to be smiling and laughing as he reaches out to do it, though.
Right. But maybe
but it's like, who cares?
Yeah. As Lamar's processing the information, he saw something that he didn't like, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, back off." And I thought that was, he didn't slap him, he didn't spit at him, which was a recurring theme this past weekend.
So Thursday night,
we're doing spit.
We're sitting there watching this game, and I texted my brothers. I was like, "This is the most spectacular start to the NFL season that you can possibly imagine." Hang on. Real quick, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to live bet the games because it is 8:10 Eastern here on Monday night. We're about to have kickoff. Abe is smoking hot.
Oh, boy.
Abe is.
No.
Abe is 3-1.
My child is trying to take my footrest.
And he's going to try to take the microphone here, too. He's trying to silence podcasting voices so that he can get his own takes out there in the world. Anyway, Abe, 3-1. You successfully won me $1.35 by predicting that Carlos Alcaraz was going to defeat Novak Djokovic, the Joker. And Alcaraz goes on to win the U.S. Open this Sunday. Should have had me bet on that.
Yeah, that's
Might have
true.
made a little bit more than $1 and change. But in any event, here we are. Monday night. The Vikings being quarterbacked by J.J. McCarthy, who was, of course, drafted last year but did not see any action whatsoever because he injured his knee or something like that. So we had the great Sam Darnold renaissance of 2024. Not sure what's Darnold up to right now. I forget.
Yeah, where is he at? Is he in Seattle or I don't know where he's at.
I don't know. We'll find out. J.J. McCarthy of the Vikings getting his first career start against the Chicago Bears, led by, of course, Caleb Williams, who was the number one pick. Was that 2 seasons? His rookie year was last year, correct? So this is his second year. Don't care for Caleb Williams. I hope he does.
The number one pick?
Yeah. I don't particularly hope that he finds any success there in Chicago. But bottom line is here, this is a bit of a coin flip game. Vikings plus 1.5 on the road. Its money line is minus 108 in either direction. Over under of 43.5. Abe, who you got?
Boy, these are two terrible quarterbacks. I mean,
The difference, Abe, I must say, the difference between 3-2 and 4-1 is pretty significant in terms of like the overall health of your record for the season. So
right.
this could matter a lot.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
Going with the Bears, are we laying the 1.5 in order to gain a little bit more of a return, or just money line here and be safe?
Considering it's not my return, let's just play just straight up win. Just one.
Straight up Chicago, a $5 bet to win $4.63.
You've already won it.
All right, the children are here because they, for some reason, believe that they ought to participate in Abe Live Bets
Stop.
the Games. So I'm going to turn this over to Calvin right
All
now.
right.
Okay, hi.
What's going on, Calvin?
I don't know. I think the Bears are gonna win
Nice.
because the Vikings last year won 14 games, and then they lost their quarterback.
So, like
So,
a regression
yeah.
to the mean for the Vikings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
J.J. McCarthy heralds a
Yeah.
regression to the mean is what you should say.
I'm not gonna say that.
What else you got?
And then they were showing the thing, and Joe Buck has a beard now, and it looks very bad.
Oh, wow. I got to catch that.
If he's not my son, if you weren't sure whether or not he's my son, he came downstairs from watching Monday Night Football.
Just
to
commenting
report
on people's appearances.
that Joe Buck's beard sucks. All right, Katie, what are your thoughts?
Hi.
Hey?
I think the Bears are going to win
Oh, boy. Everybody loves the Bears.
because they're animals, and animals normally win. And
We're animals. The Vikings are animals.
no, they're not.
Vikings are not animals.
And also,
Racist.
they're good, I think, and I haven't heard of them much, so it seems like it's their year to make a good thing.
You should take the headphones off of her. She's talking weird.
And also, Calvin's right about the beard.
Oh,
Thank you, children.
I gotta check this beard out.
All right, so that's unanimous for the Bears, which tells me I need to. I put the $5 on the Bears, but I should probably put like 50 on the Vikings if
Yeah.
you three idiots are all on the same side here.
It's Moore. He's got to get rid of it. He does. And Manungai can't make a play, and that's it. The Minnesota Vikings will start this season 1-0 with this strong comeback and a win on the road here in Chicago.
All right, that is Ave Live Bets the Games, a thus far profitable enterprise
Give it
in
time.
2025. All right, where were we? It was Thursday night. We were talking about spitting. The
We've
beginning.
got to speed it up, though. It's almost 8:30.
There we go. The beginning of the season, and there's a kickoff, and there's an injury
Yeah.
on the kickoff. Somebody, which is I mean, yeah, I don't want to see anybody hurt, but it's Cowboys and the Eagles, and so we're waiting around for the game to finally get started properly with the first actual play from scrimmage, and what appears to happen is Jalen Carter, former Georgia Bulldog great, and now apparently filthy, rotten Eagle, man of low standing and poor character, and remarkably poor judgment, spits quite clearly and obviously onto Dak Prescott's chest.
Right.
Seemingly, at least as we were watching it live, unbidden, right? Like of no apparent...
Yeah, just an unprovoked spit.
Seemingly unprovoked, yes.
Okay, but did anyone really think it was out of nowhere?
Well, no, not completely out of nowhere, but like an escalation,
Yes.
certainly. Like my assumption was like... My assumption, and this is... I'm thinking poorly of the average NFL player. Perhaps this is...
More racism.
No, I was heading more in the direction of classism here. But my assumption is that there's a lot of people screaming about fags and cocksuckers and mothers in the scrum of an average.
Oh, yes.
Like the average NFL scrum is very heavy on the homophobia
Right.
and the anti-mother content.
Right.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's
all
just...
to gain an advantage, on the field.
That's right. So my assumption would have been that, like, Dak Prescott called Jalen Carter some sort of a fat faggot.
Right.
Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just what's in my head. It's not my fault.
Would that be like
I
a
think you think that
spit-worthy
Jalen
insult?
Carter is those things.
Would that be worthy of a spitting response?
Yes.
No, obviously not. Don't spit on, because if you call him that out of earshot of the referees, nothing bad is going to happen to you, right?
Right.
Whereas if you spit on him in retaliation for that, something very bad is
Right.
going to happen to you.
Right. It should be noted that the one of the refs was like right there. He's watching this happen. Like in Madden and other games, they have like the awareness number, like to show. And
The ref's awareness was turned all the way to 11 in that moment.
And Carter's was like almost at 0. He just was
Right.
totally. He just
You know
had
what else was at 0?
Yeah.
Composure. Composure.
his
0.
tunnel vision was such that he could not, like, I don't know what was. I mean, obviously later we find out that there was something that preceded it.
Dak spit upon him,
But
or
not
in
upon
his,
him, in his general
In
direction.
his general
Right,
direction.
Yeah, so this is a
hiding like a coward behind two of his gigantic linemen. So you've got a classic hold me back situation where Dak sticks his stupid mouth in between the shoulders of the two mountains standing in front of him and spits in the general direction of Jalen Carter.
Did that spit catch some of the jersey of one of the players?
I think it probably did
Right?
hit him in the body. Yes.
Right.
And it was close enough for it to strike him, and then they grow closer, right?
Yeah.
The two linemen sort of part, and Jalen Carter is right up on Dak. There's a water boy standing next to him, witnessing this whole thing as well, and that guy's going to live forever now in a GIF, which is a funny way to end up forever in the public consciousness, which is watching a spit come out of a mountain of a man in Jalen Carter. He tracks it, the trajectory of it, onto Dak, and then looks up at Dak to try to clock Dak's reaction to all that's going on. Wonderful. Like, just as that one dopey water boy there watching this thing go down, I love that moment of it.
Yeah.
On top of everything else, but then like just what is Jalen Carter doing?
Yeah.
And I believe the referee comes on and says flagrant unsportsmanlike
Flagrant.
conduct,
Right.
which is not a
It's a new
phrasing that I recall having heard before.
Isn't that the first, like, because the way, the sequence of events was like, the broadcast booth, they were talking about something else, and then they're like, hey, there's something happening, like a flag, and then they're like, he's getting ejected, and then they showed all of the replays to show what happened.
Right, but during the broadcast,
Not all of them.
NBC had not yet caught that Dak was the first spitter.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a
Not all
this is
of
a
them.
Seinfeld episode,
Yes.
as it turns out. But like they had not figured out yet that Dak Prescott initiated the spitting.
Right. Which would, I think the added context at least explains as to why Jalen Carter did what he did. But unlike Lamar, this was not a proportional response, even though it's spit for spit. Like spitting in the
No,
general
it was
direction
dumber.
and spitting at somebody, they're miles apart. They're not anywhere near each other. That is, and the composure on Dak, I got to give kudos to him.
Yeah.
Like, he did not like react. Like
That's because he knew the first spit was to get the retaliatory spit or to get him to do something stupid. What does Dak do immediately upon being spat upon?
Yeah. He like immediately like kind of flags the ref to like, hey, see
He
what
looks
just
at
did?
the ref.
Yeah. And
Right?
the ref
He's like,
on
oh,
it.
did you see? Did you see? This is the sort of fucking coward you are if you're the Cowboys quarterback, as it turns out.
You can spit down at somebody, not at somebody. That's unacceptable.
Yes.
So the spit, the Jalen Carter spit, was more down than the Florida player's spit.
Yeah.
Which Katie on Sunday morning after watching college football final said, there was another spit.
This is the other side of that Odell Beckham.
That's right. Did Dak Prescott, as it turns out, give the permission structure to everyone else to begin spitting upon us? And by the way, because there was immediate talk of like, because they go to their rules expert, these fucking idiots. NBC experts are saying that this is you can be kicked out because you spit on somebody, and they're like, this could be more. This could be a suspension in the works, right? Like this could be all the way up on Goodell's desk already. He could be trying to work this out for how many games is what a disaster, not just for tonight for the Eagles, but potentially for the season. I think it's clear now, given the totality of the evidence here, which is that Dak was the first spitter. Yeah. You cannot suspend Jalen Carter.
Him. Fine both.
There doesn't need to be you need to discourage this practice. You can't just,
Yes. Kicked out of the game before the first play from scrimmage is pretty significant, especially considering it was just the guy who retaliated who got caught, right? And I think you got to find Dak Prescott, too. It's not enough. You're not going to suspend him, but you simply cannot allow the spitting to go completely unpunished since it was caught on camera.
Or you do nothing and you say like, okay, we just spit on each other. Yeah. That's what we do. That's how we show love.
No, Dak should not escape this the way that Lamar does with the offsetting penalties issue here. Because he was not penalized. He got exactly what he came for, which was to get Jalen Carter either a 15-yard penalty or ejected from the game.
Right. This is two different leagues, pro and college. But obviously that ejection did not do the trick because the behavior was modeled by another player. So the NFL has to come over the top. I say a game or two suspension would be valid.
Oh, wow. What about for Dak?
These things happen. He was spitting on the ground.
He was spitting at Jalen Carter. All you were saying is that it matters that Dak Prescott had 4 feet between he and Jalen Carter, whereas Jalen Carter then closed the distance and had just 1 foot between he and Dak Prescott.
Made the case that spitting is just a routine behavior on the field. Just as you're talking.
That's what I'm saying.
You can see it in his eyes what he's doing.
Yeah, he's looking at him in the face. We gotta.
He's multitasking. The spitting had nothing to do with the stare down.
No, spitting had nothing to do with the taunting, certainly.
Yes.
All right, that was all of the. I watched that on Thursday, and then I watched.
We watched some on Friday.
Yeah,
what was the
Brazil
we
game?
watched the Chiefs and the who the hell did the Chargers. That was a fun game, actually.
Yeah.
The Chargers getting the win.
But
Chiefs largely
the fact that you don't remember says it's not that fun because you forgot about it.
No, I just sort of hadn't remembered that there was NFL on Friday
I didn't
night.
forget.
It just took a moment.
I just hadn't remembered.
But that was a fun game. The Chiefs don't look great.
Yeah.
Once again, and that Chargers team when Herbert gets rolling, like I've said before, fun player to watch. But yeah, fun weekend for the NFL. I presume, as you say, your Colts get the big win to end that streak. The Giants looked like hot garbage, and apparently Russell Wilson sucked against the Redskins, or the Commies, rather.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else happened? What are the other narratives out of the NFL quickly here?
Well, I mean, I don't know why Jackson Dart isn't getting the start at this point. I mean, it's only been 1 week, but just get the kid playing. The idiot kicker out of Atlanta missed a field goal at the end. That got a lot of reaction down here in Atlanta. People don't like the Young Wei Koo. They want him out of town.
He's been around for a few years now.
Yeah, but he's been sucking for a while.
Bengals sneak out of Cleveland with a win. And then the Steelers beat the Jets. In New York, or in New Jersey, rather, Aaron Rodgers getting revenge on the Jets organization. And what's funny about that is that made both you and Jimmy Carter wrong.
I thought we would have some resolution here. I can't believe both Jimmy and I got that game wrong, the head-to-head.
The hazard of the point spread. It will fuck you. Oh, and the Lions look like hot garbage, apparently. They go to Green Bay and
Matt
get blown
Stafford
out.
broke a record at some point.
Yeah, 60,000 total yards, I think.
People will say, and with a good argument, that Matt Stafford came into the NFL at the exact right moment with his particular set of skills to amass just clownish numbers for the entirety of his career, despite not being anything like an all-time great. Right? Like a very good NFL quarterback, but who is going to have put up numbers that, unless we see another offensive renaissance like we had seen, like during the peak of the Aaron Rodgers years, right? When Rodgers was doing his thing, and you had like 10 or 12 or 15 at times quarterbacks in the league who you're like, man, these guys are just all awesome.
Right.
Right.
There were so many 4,000 plus
Drew
yards
Brees,
quarterbacks.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think Breeze though was like legitimately probably a better quarterback than Matt Stafford ever was.
Is Matt
was
Stafford
smaller.
getting into the Hall of Fame based on just the stats?
I think you have to, just based on the numbers. Plus, he's got the title, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, if Eli gets in, you can't tell me that Eli's 2 titles outweigh Matt Stafford's entire. Like.
I mean, that title that stopped a perfect season should count as a title and a half. So he got 2.5 Super Bowls, really.
That's true. I like the conspiracy theory that the reason that Bill Belichick lost those 2 Super Bowls in particular is because of he's a giant at heart and couldn't bear to see I'm Bill Belichick. I've got 3 or 4 or 5, like depending on where in his career he was, and I love the Giants. Just let the Giants win this one.
So he has 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator, and 2 as a saboteur of his own team.
Exactly.
Okay.
Don't tell him he's only got 8. He's got 10. Get the fuck out of here with your 7, Tom Brady. All right. To the college football of it all. Let's start with the Georgia game, since that's obviously what we have our parochial interests are in.
I have less interest in that game that weekend.
It was an ugly-ass game. And
Talk about all the other games.
if there's anything to say about it, it's probably... Boy, I don't know if Grunter Stockton is the answer to the quarterback question.
Funny thing you should say that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Watch. I'm like, oh, man, this Tennessee game is going to be interesting to see which, Because, I mean, a few years ago, Georgia's had... There's always like a game where like some garbage team comes in and it's like it takes a while to put them away, and sometimes you can't. And even I think like one of the championship years, like a few years ago, there was some team where that something like that happened. So this doesn't mean anything.
And early on, I thought this is exactly what Kirby wants, right? Like Kirby does not want us to go out there and curb stomp this Austin Peay team. He would much rather this be a struggle, have it be like an opportunity for teaching stuff, and for getting mad, and for letting the haters and the doubters expect us to go into Tennessee and get our asses kicked, right? Like he would be welcoming all of that in. But after the break, after the 2-hour delay, and we come back out, I think we put together a decent drive on the other side of the half, right? Like I think it was probably our best, most dominant looking drive of the half, as I recall. But that didn't continue. Like it was kind of the only good thing that happened in the second half.
Right.
And as this offense continued to struggle, the defense looked great. The 6 points were the result of good field position and a couple of decent drives that end up petering out. And then we had a big time stop down there in the red zone, right? We stopped them from scoring to return the favor that they had done to us at the end of the first half. But like I said, I'm watching the first half and I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is all exactly the sort of food that Kirby wants to get from this game. But the longer it went on and the worse that the offense looked, the more it became like, oh no, I need to be deeply concerned about whether or not this offense is actually any good moving forward. Because Grunter does not make a second and third read, because by the time he gets to the second and third read, it's too late, right? Like, because he's very, very slow to go through his progressions. And it's not just that, like, sort of similar to like Stetson, I always thought was just a half a click too slow to get rid of the ball. That was my main problem with Stetson, was he always seemed half a click too slow, and the ball, he could connect on deep throws. Like, to his credit, and he did it a ton of times. He played hero ball and could connect with wide receivers down the field. But in any given game, it always felt like, yes, he made that long throw and Brock Bowers or Ladd McConkey made the play. But if he just put 3 more feet of air under that ball, that's a score instead of a 40-yard first down, right? And that happened over and over and over again with him. And Grunter is a full step behind that, right? Like, he's not even getting to the point where he feels comfortable unleashing the long ball down the field. And sure, there are apologists who will say, hey, we're playing fucking Marshall and Austin P. We're gonna put the most vanilla ass bullshit out there because we don't want to alert Tennessee as to what we're capable of yet. Right? Don't give them any film. Don't have to try to get the W. And in this day and age, all that really matters is getting the W. The style points only get you so far when there's 12 teams that are going to make the playoff at the end of the season anyway. So get the win and get out of there. But I just don't see him as someone who's capable of actually doing this at a high level to this point. And I don't think you can look at the evidence on the field the last 2 games and tell me otherwise.
But
Kirby was saying, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, don't you want to see him play against like an SEC team first before deciding that? Because, you know,
I'm very nervous to see him play against an SEC team before deciding that.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, I think just for the first 2 weeks, it's kind of hard to kind of get a good gauge on the team when you're playing out of conference and not, like, you know.
I agree. Team. And I said before these games, I don't think there's anything that we can learn about Georgia through the first 2 weeks of this season because of the opponents that we're playing. But when you watch him seem to have a complete inability to go through the progressions and to find the open guy. And they played a devastating highlight package in the middle of this game where they showed like 3 throws in a row where he just failed to find the open man, to just go to the next thing and throw the ball down the field to the open guy. And it was funny because it was combined with a reticence to just fucking take off. Right? So not only was he not going through the progressions fast enough in order to find the open guy, but he was simply not going through the progressions fast enough to realize, oh, it's time to go. Yeah. Right? Like he wasn't even and maybe he's been told, like, you've got to stay in the pocket and you cannot just tuck the ball and run. But like, clearly that needs to be an important part of his game. But again, maybe they're hiding it for next week. Who knows?
Kirby said in the press conference today, and echoed by the players, that, like, in practice, he's awesome. And then he hasn't been great in the games.
This is like
Kirby said something like, I wish you guys could see him in practice.
This is very reminiscent of Biden's great, like, in the behind the scenes. Like,
that's right.
He just struggles in front of people.
He's just not executing during the games well.
I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
If I were properly preparing for this podcast, and I did my 3 questions, 2 statements, and 1 hot take.
Oh yeah.
My question coming out of this Georgia game would be: is Grunter Stockton the quarterback of Georgia by the time we play Florida? And I don't know. I think that Ryan Puglisi is right there in terms of being able to take over for this team. And if what we've seen these last 2 weeks is evidence of Grunter Stockton's ability level rather than just a result of a very vanilla offense that hasn't quite clicked yet, then I think that we will see Puglisi as the Georgia quarterback before the season is over.
So you have a road game against Tennessee. So like if there's a bad performance on the quarterback part, you have a bye week and then Alabama. So like he's going to play those two games no matter what, unless he totally stinks it up this Saturday.
We'll see.
So like by the end of this month, we'll have a pretty good picture of who he is as a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I would think, like, if he can't make it work against Tennessee, who I saw an article today that both of their starting cornerbacks are still going to be out against Georgia. They have somebody who's still recovering from a long-term injury who's not back yet, and then the other one injured himself last week, I think, and is not going to be ready. And so they're starting a freshman and a transfer at the cornerback position. Like, if you can't do it against those dudes with the weapons that it appears that Georgia has got now, like Caleb Young looks good as a wide receiver this year. The other guy, Zachariah Branch, looks
Colby
really
Young,
fun.
not Caleb.
Sorry, Colby Young looks good. Zachariah Branch looks exciting as well anytime he gets to touch the ball. And, like, eventually we're going to make Dylan Bell happen. Like, we've been trying to make Dylan Bell happen for quite some time.
Dylan Bell happens for me. I think he's great.
I love Dylan Bell. But it also feels like he can't quite get to that next level. Like, he's always about to be awesome and has not yet. Like, he'll make one or two plays every other week, and you'd be like, man, he's coming. Here he comes. And it just never quite all comes together for Dylan Bell. I'm rooting for him, though. I'm glad the kid's still around. But also, I don't think that this Georgia team has yet figured out an identity in terms of the running game. I like the three-headed monster approach with the running backs. They've all been pretty good. You can't fumble the ball. Nate Frazier cannot be fumbling the ball. And he seems to me, and maybe this is, I don't know, he seems to me like he's running slightly more timidly than he was last year. He looks more like Trevor Etienne, where he seems to be trying to pick his spots rather than just bowling through guys. And I don't know if that's part of an adjustment where, like, eventually he'll come out of the other end of it better, because we're not all Nick Chubb. We cannot all just fucking bowl through everybody with maximum violence all the time.
Well, and it is a thing if you're learning a new skill. Like, if they said, try to pick your spots better, your brain...
Right, he's like fucking 19.
Forgets.
Right.
Like, when I teach the girls how to do hair, if I'm like, remember to hold the hair this way, they forget how to hold their scissors because they're thinking about the other hand. Yeah. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. But I also think it's a function of a very obviously shitty offensive line. The offensive line, there's been some good play. There's that one freshman who's a monster, and you see, like, there's some good GIFs of him just, like, knocking people over. But, like, as a unit, they have not yet figured that out. And at this point, like, we're 2 or 3 years now into what's going on with this offensive line.
It's the transfer portal and NIL.
I think it's the coaching. I think
you think
Stacey Searles kind of sucks at this, is my theory.
You think that it's a coincidence that as soon as you could get all the big dudes to go other places and either play right away or get more money, that's when we started sucking on the offensive line? It's a pure coincidence?
I think it's a Stacey Searles issue as much as it is anything else.
Wow. Then what about everywhere else's offensive line problems?
Do all offensive lines suck now?
Yes,
is that what you're telling me?
That's the biggest problem in college football, is nobody's offensive line is any good.
Well, it's time for Arkansas to fire their head coach so that he can come back to the Dogs and coach our offensive line again. Even if it's just for a year or two, right? Like, you get a get-right gig with the Dogs, and then you can go take an offensive coordinator job.
But it won't make a difference
somewhere
it's
else,
not coaching.
and then head coach again.
So, Lori, the argument is that the talent is spread out now because people
100%.
Okay.
I mean, all of the... Yes, like it's all that the coaches are complaining about, and the sports talking heads are saying the biggest problem with college football right now in terms of on the field is offensive line play.
Yeah.
And it's why running quarterbacks have become such a desired thing, because it can get out of the way.
Oklahoma and Michigan was an exciting game to watch on Saturday night.
It was.
In no small part because John Mateer can do it all, as it turns out, including throwing the ball down the field with some success, but also a lot of designed run plays for Mr. Mateer in that Oklahoma offense.
Do you want to know exactly how many? Because he's my dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We have like 70 or 80 yards, I think, rushing for Oklahoma.
This was week 2. 74.
There you go. 74 yards rushing for John Mateer in a game that we watched, and
So fun.
it was close. To me, it never felt like Michigan was was in danger of winning that game, right? Like it felt like Oklahoma was in charge of that game pretty much the entire time. And I imagine that the Michigan people were like super frustrated because they were clearly not in a position to like open the offense up or whatever with that 18, 19 years old, their rookie, or rather their freshman.
Yeah, Underwood.
Bryce Underwood.
The $10 million man who's in Michigan only because of the wife of Larry Ellison and Dave Portnoy.
And because he's from there.
Conspiring. Well, not because was going to LSU until the wife of the second richest man on the planet was like, honey, I could use $10 million or so for a quarterback for my favorite college football team. And if you're wondering why fucking college sports is dumb, it's because the second richest man in the world's wife can say, honey, I want a quarterback. And he'll say, all right, whatever. And then you've got a quarterback for 3 years.
I think Saban made a point recently about how like the Big Ten has like the advantage when it comes to just paying players. I guess they have deeper pockets or alumni networks or.
So I've heard this phrased as almost a dig at the South, and like the South getting its comeuppance after years of like, oh, you have a used car lot in Milledgeville, Georgia, and so you've got an extra $7,000 rolling around that you don't mind sticking in a bowling ball bag and like and dropping off at a dorm at East Campus for a tight end or something like that. Why'd I go with tight end? $7,000. That's an expensive evening. But like the idea here being that like, yeah, sure, the South, you idiots have been like slipping these, like doing the $50 handshake at the alumni club meeting or finding $3,000 to give the guy when he comes out to the local Boys and Girls Club to sign autographs for the kids or whatever. And you've been doing this dirty stuff under the table all these years, and that's why you've had this advantage with these players. But now that it's legal for us to pay players, well, all of us attorneys and finance bros are going to be able to mop the floor with you because we can write the $1.5 million check, whereas you've only got $7,000 because you sold 3 extra Chryslers last month or whatever. It's like, to me, it smacks of anti-Southern. Look at what you Hicks have been up to all of these years, and I don't know that I buy it. Like, I know Michigan and Ohio State have massive alumni bases, but so too does the University of Georgia.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Well, it's. I mean, I didn't say this. We didn't record it, but the notion that the people, let's say in Michigan and Ohio, haven't been doing this for 20 years. So now they are.
But of course they have. That's the thing that I don't.
I was in the middle of talking.
Sorry.
If now they are, the point is that it's like, here's a lump sum all at once. Where it was $7,000 every football season from the car dealership. Okay, now it's $7 million. But that's the only time. They're not going to keep doing this. They can't afford to because there's the same amount of money in both places.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's because, we started winning. Oh, we can pay now. Here's millions of dollars to play around with. But it's not going to be able to keep going.
There were bagmen in Columbus, Ohio, and Ann Arbor, Michigan, just like there were bagmen in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Athens, Georgia, right? Like it was not unique to the South that there was underhanded shit going on with gobs of cash.
But up in the North, maybe they were paying the same before or less. Now they can pay the same or more. So they're getting the players from the South. It's a geography issue.
Yeah,
because
I do.
you're getting the players from the South to go up north where they wouldn't have gone before because it's cold. And why would they go play somewhere in the cold when they could stay 2.5 hours from home? It's like, well, because you'll get $4 million. Oh, okay. That's worth it.
I think from a cultural standpoint, you can blame the shrinking of the world as well. Whereas it used to be appealing to go from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan to Southern California to play football, or to go to Alabama because it's just nicer there, right, in terms of the weather. And you don't have to worry about the snow and the cold and all of the rest. Like, I think that has less, like, the physical world has less social cachet now, right? Like, like somehow they all live online. So, like, because you can be in Michigan and have just as big a social media following as, like, you're going to be the big man on campus or the big man on Instagram, regardless of where you are, geographically speaking. I don't know. There might be something to that.
Yeah.
Well, they're still kids. They wanted to stay close to home. And if they're being paid a lot of money to not stay close to home and they can fly home as often as they want, like...
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're prisoners of the fact that Michigan and Ohio State won the last 2 national titles, and probably the talent disparities have not shifted nearly as much as we think that they have. Just look at how many dudes Ohio State put in the NFL draft after their, like, it's just what it is. They just had more talent because more seniors stuck around, or upperclassmen stuck around. Michigan's
COVID
upper class stuck around. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see how it plays out. But a fun game on... And, like, I don't think Michigan's a playoff team this year, but they hung around with what appears to be actually a very good Oklahoma team, who were, like, a mess last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, until Oklahoma beat Alabama, it was like, this is a disastrous season for Oklahoma in 2024. But all of a sudden looking like a pretty good team.
What do you make of Ole Miss? Like, it seemed like they were struggling to put Kentucky away.
Man. Speaking of, like, that was a suspect line, and they could not get it done. Not nearly as suspect as the Mississippi State, Arizona State line, which proved disastrous. Like, I knew it. I looked at that stupid number, and I said, that is a super suspect line. Nobody should bet on that line. And then I bet on that line, both in the CIB Pick'em game and then also with dollars, and lost. Like,
so happy for Mississippi State.
Yeah, I guess.
They never win anything. Oh, what a win for them. How lovely.
I think Ole Miss is probably fine. Austin Simmons got hurt briefly in that game. I don't know what the end result of that is. Is he fine as far as we know?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
He twisted his knee real bad. It wasn't quite to the level of, Abe is going to capture this in short form video and save it to his phone.
That happened in the Georgia game. I'm surprised it didn't come up.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't send us a clip of the kid who broke his leg in the Georgia game. I was waiting for it.
Missed opportunity.
But Austin Simmons had his foot pinned and his knee twisted in the wrong direction. It was very unpleasant to look at, and he was helped off the field limping on one knee.
He says he's fine.
Says he's fine.
They taped it.
I don't know. Maybe the lesser Stoops there in Kentucky has some secret juju that counteracts Lance Kiffin's best efforts. But that's 2 years in a row now where Kentucky could have... they were in that game. They could have won that thing. They get a fucking bullshit backdoor cover at the end of that game, by the way. They kick a field goal so that they can do that thing where they try an onside kick with like 18 seconds left in the game. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. You did not. If you're going to backdoor cover me.
After the shit Mark Stoops got last year for not trying to win the game against us.
If you're going to backdoor cover me, do it the honest way. Score the touchdown first. All right? Take at least one shot at the end zone when you get the first down at the fucking 17-yard line or whatever it is. And make it at least respectable, right? But you kick that field goal just to get over the number. You can't convince me that he's actually trying to win the game. That's just sticking an eye in all of the fucking dumbass degenerates who were on the wrong side there. You need to go for the end zone there, and then you have earned the right to try for the onside kick and to tie or win it with a field goal. Shameful behavior by the Wildcats. So that was
Saturday.
That was frustrating to
Cyhawk
watch.
you missed because you were at baseball.
I was at baseball.
You missed Virginia lose a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Like they have every right to be sad.
Also, Florida going down.
Yeah, remember that time Florida lost to University of South Florida, which isn't even in South Florida. It's in left Florida.
Oh, poor Florida. They
Florida
can't get
lost with their OMG we love him superstar quarterback.
He looks the coach of that. I know that I sometimes say things.
Looks like Patton Oswalt.
He looks like a Ukrainian warfighter.
He looks like a guy who would have the last name that he has. What's it?
He looks like a
Gorsuch or
guy
something?
who is like in a dimly lit garage in eastern Ukraine, doing weird, like surprisingly effective electronics work in a dimly lit garage in eastern Ukraine, and
What's his
like
name?
like shit that will do violence to other people, and you're like. No, he's just a dude in my neighborhood. Like, no, he's not. He's a weirdo in a dimly lit garage.
Golish. Golesh.
Yeah.
awfully specific there, Bob.
Getting there.
I mean, these things they speak to me in the same way that
Anyway, that was
Dan
great.
Lanning of Oregon looks like a
Old
trailer
timey
park
bank robber.
No, yes, also though, a trailer park hooker is what Dan Lanning. He has the slouch and the weird face of a trailer park slut.
There's another Grammatica out there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he won the field goal.
Yeah.
He won the game. Martine.
Has
Dad.
anyone in college coaching ever done so much to lift themselves out of the shitty toilet only to turn around
No.
and dive headlong
No,
right back
they
into the
haven't.
shitty toilet than Billy Napier?
No, it's
He's got like
How is
But-
a guy can be on the hot seat for a whole season
God.
and then like after didn't he get the
Yes.
the promise?
It was before the Texas game because they knew they were going to lose.
right before
right,
he
yeah.
gets his ass kicked, and he hadn't done anything to earn it. They were just like, "Look, we're not going to fire him this year." And then he didn't he win 2 out of 4
Well,
when it looked like he could have
yeah.
lost 4 out of 4
Well,
at the end of the
also-
season.
They lost their quarterback,
Sure,
and then their backup turned out to be awesome. But now that backup is starting, and he is less awesome than they would think. And then he lost
which
to
by
a
the way,
directional
that's
school.
an indictment of the head coach. If it turns out that the backup is way better than your starting quarterback was, that does not mean that your head coach was actually secretly smart.
The fact
It
that
means
they
that he
lost
was bad
to a
at his
school
job.
that's a directional school that is incorrect is insane.
yeah. How do you screw that up?
Also, it was just bad coaching, right?
Yep.
They had a lead and an opportunity to run the clock down to nearly nothing, even if they didn't get a first down. But instead, the play calling was horrendous. It's third
And he's the one calling plays.
right. I think it was third and medium, like 3rd and 4, and it might have been a little longer. It almost doesn't matter the down and distance, but so much of college football now is what Georgia does on offense, which is a bunch of fucking bullshit bubble screens or wide receiver screens, and then Hail Mary 50-50 ball, right? At best 50-50.
Right.
And what Florida does, all they need is a fucking first down. And what they do, they whatever first and second down was, not great and not successful. Then on third down, instead of like, surely you have a screen or you have a slant. You have something in your playbook that says when we need 7 yards or 4 yards or whatever the third and medium was that they needed, this is in our go-to of like half a dozen or more plays.
What if that thing is spit?
That are like, get me the first fucking down.
Right.
And instead the play call is have the wide receiver run as fast as he can down the sideline, and I will just chuck it and hope for the best. right? And that it's just not a successful way of going about running an offense. And it's like flipping a coin and saying, hey, maybe we'll get the first down here and then we'll have won the game. Or we'll turn the ball over to the other team and give them an opportunity. Like, what are you doing, you dumbass? Call something that has a much higher success rate than just Eli Manning hoping to like plant it on somebody's helmet 40 yards down the field.
Yeah, I imagine like in a gotta have it play section, like, gotta have X number of yards, have 10 plays designed and just execute. Basically, high probability this always kind of works as long as you execute it. Jump balls, 50-50 balls.
There's no guarantee, but it's got to be better than run 30 yards down the sideline and I'll chuck it in the air and maybe you can run under it or not, right? Anyway, USF then breaks off a long run and gets in field goal range and wins it with the Grammatica field
clock
goal.
management, too.
Yeah, executed. All right. Also, it's worth noting that Clemson struggled a great deal against Troy in another game that was weather affected.
LSU didn't do great against their thing either. Everybody took a week off.
What's weird about Clemson, they don't look spectacular. And I know we're going to do the preview show later on this week, but they're still almost a 10-point favorite this upcoming weekend. Like, they don't seem to be like there. There's something off about the team
Against Tech?
Yeah, it's like 9.5 points like on the road. It's a another weird line kind of thing, but it hasn't budged.
All right, real quick on Texas football. Abe, you had Texas in the CIB Pick'em contest. They were a 36.5 point favorite, and they only win by like 31 or 32 points or something like that.
What a loser.
This was the get right game that, which is what Alabama did, but
Yeah.
There was a get right 5 minutes because I was coming home from the ball field on Saturday, and I got a notification on my phone from ESPN that says Texas's Arch Manning scores 4 touchdowns in 5 minutes of game time. And I'm like, holy shit, Abe is going to coast on his pick here. Like, if you score 4 touchdowns in 5 minutes and you still don't cover the number, and it's not because your defense sucked. Right. Like, not everything is right, apparently, in Austin.
Also, if Abe took Manning on his quarterback team, he would have done better than the 13 points that he got from Lenoris Sellers.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He's building a Heisman campaign. You don't want to peak too soon. You want to do that later in the year.
We'll get to recapping both the CIB Pick'em game and the CIB Fantasy Quarterbacks game here in just a moment. I want to play a clip from Steve Sarkisian's press conference that he gave earlier today in the wake of Saturday's action.
Arch Manning seemed to be having some throwing pains by the
According to
quarter.
who?
Arch?
Arch said that to you?
No.
Oh, according to who?
It just looked like he was.
He doesn't have any.
Is there an explanation to why it looked like that?
I don't know. I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Sark, you talked about going home
Did
and
you guys
watching.
like
that? You know how I know what's on Steve Sarkisian's phone or in his video library? It's when he says during this press conference what he doesn't have video of.
I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Have you seen the video that he's referring to?
The smirk on Steve's face. He's so pleased with himself when he tells this reporter, I've never filmed you in the bathroom doing your business. So I don't know what sort of faces you make when you're taking a dump. Like, why is this what's top of mind for this man who makes whatever $9 or $10 million a year?
He's thinking of strain.
Also, is he suggesting that Arch Manning is out there shitting his pants?
That's what my mind went exactly to. Like, that is not how I would direct people's thoughts.
This is a weird way to get Arch Manning depend adult diapers endorsement.
But have you seen the video that is being referred to?
Yeah, Arch grimaces and appears to be in a great deal of pain when he lets the ball go And the one throw in particular that I think the video is referencing is a ball that ends up right at his receiver's feet. So it's a poorly thrown ball, and Arch appears to be grimacing in pain. I think a plausible explanation is that Arch is grimacing because he knows, having thrown a ball no fewer than 11 million times
That was bad.
in his relatively short life, that he knows that this isn't going to go where he wants it to go, and so he grimaces. Also, maybe he just makes that face
Maybe
when he
if you
throws
think
the ball
of all
sometimes.
the tennis players and the sounds they make when they're doing less, they're just hitting.
I don't know if they're doing less. They're giving their full effort into the moment there.
Okay.
I
Well,
would
they're
say-
making ridiculous sounds, and football players don't make those sounds.
Like we've said before, you don't know what goes on inside the scrum.
But not when they're I know what they're mic'd up.
Anyway, I just liked Sark's face when he gets done
Sarcastic.
getting off a good one.
Sarcastic.
Like he's just so happy.
Yeah.
Is
that-
he sarcastic? It's important.
Going home
Do you
and
guys like
watching.
that?
Did you guys like that? He's such a weird dude. Steve Sarkisian is.
Oh, so weird.
You know, they say, I'm not accusing Sark of anything, but, sometimes when people give up like a very chaotic kind of habit like he had with alcohol, he needs to fill
Yeah.
that energy somehow. Maybe he's like a peeping Tom.
Maybe.
I mean, you said it, not me. I was thinking the same thing. But. It's now time for an intermittent segment on this show. Did the following NFL announcer, in this case, Rich Eisen, of the ESPN broadcast of the Chiefs this is a YouTube broadcast. I forgot. He was an NFL Network guy for a very long time. He's now roped in somehow with ESPN, where I think he did a Sports Center, his first Sports Center broadcast in 10 or 15 years or however long it's been since he left ESPN. But he was on the call for YouTube. And I actually thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he could be very good at this. Not that any of this matters, but he could be good at this calling of games thing. But did Rich Eisen, working the YouTube stream for the Chiefs-Chargers game on Friday night, get off a good one in the fashion and to the exacting standards of CBS News' Mark Strassmann.
Number of big plays on that drive to get 7 on the board. But going to tie it. No good. Oh, man. Harrison Butker. Interestingly enough, is wide right. And it's a 13-12 ball game.
All right, Abe, did Rich Eisen of YouTube get off a good one?
Definitely, yes.
Strassmann gets off a good one. That was pretty good.
There was a good one during what was I watching on Thursday? It was good.
You were watching James Madison
Yes,
at Louisville.
that's what it was.
And it went like this.
There you go.
They come to play. Wayne Knight gets the call on first down. And Newman greeted with a rude hello, but he picks up enough for a first down.
You told me to seek out this moment at the start of the second quarter between JMU and Louisville. And the first play is Wayne Knight is greeted with a rude hello. And Newman, did you hear that just
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
I thought that was the good one you were
No.
directing me to. You're telling me there's another one? This guy was on fire, apparently, at the start of the second
Yes.
quarter.
And Newman greeted with a rude hello, but he picks up enough for a first down.
And keep an eye on Michael Scott. He's a true freshman, number 17. When he comes in the game, they want to get the ball into his hands. His nickname is Joystick. A lot of players call him Junebug because he's so quick, so dynamic in the open field.
I was surprised nobody's called him world's greatest boss.
We're going to get him to football here pretty quickly.
There you go.
That's within 45 seconds.
Pretty good.
Who is this guy?
Wayne Knight is a deep cut. Most people don't know who that is.
I don't think most people watching this either know. I think that The Office
People know The Office.
people know but it's also one of those things where the people who know The Office really know The Office.
But that's everybody now. It's the memes.
Right.
We talk in The Office. Everybody does.
I think that more people got both of those references than got Harrison Butker is, interestingly enough, wide right.
I don't know. You think the Newman one, a lot of people would get that?
Yeah, that's deep cut. Wayne Knight.
Yeah, because they're not even using his character name. Yeah. But yeah, the do you think Eisen had that kind of like in the chamber in case like he shanks it to the right?
I think just based on tone of voice, I think it occurred to him in the moment, and he realized he couldn't help but say it, right? Like, that is what I hear in the way that he says that there. Like, and he's immediately pleased with himself.
Yes.
Like I know, I live for myself.
Yeah,
I
you
live
and
for
Steve
those
Sarkeesian.
moments of getting off a good one in precisely that fashion. So yeah, I don't think that he had not Jim Nanced it in the mirror the night before, waiting for that perfect moment. That was in fact just something that occurred to him as it unfolded.
That's why he's a pro.
All right, Lori, why don't you go ahead and update us on our
All right.
College football quarterback fantasy thing.
The update is I'm winning, and
how can you be winning? Abe has got the Western Kentucky quarterback.
he did not
Very weak.
play.
Weak.
They didn't play. No, TCU didn't play. TCU didn't play. But also,
lazy
Western
bums.
Kentucky only got 19 points. My Ohio State Julian Sayin, Kleinholz, St. Clair trio of quarterback room yielded 43 points this week.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. No, I did good this week. And Bob sucks.
Hey, still in last place, Bob?
I think this is purely a function of the Cade Klubnicking of the first round.
I think
there.
everyone needs to look at my spreadsheet. It's beautiful.
It's a
I
great,
worked very
yeah.
hard on it.
It's great.
All right,
Thank you.
I'll allow read access to the spreadsheet if you psychos want to look at Lori's spreadsheet. I'll make sure there's a link
I
to
meant
it
just you guys, but okay.
in the show note. I mean, obviously, you think that the public should be.
I don't know. It's if you don't interact with it, it's not as good.
So yeah, sounds like Lori's winning and I'm sucking in the CIB Pick'em or the CIB Fantasy Football Contest. In the Pick'em contest, I must say we are collectively off to a very bad start as a collective here.
That's okay. It's stupid. We shouldn't do it.
There's a lot of red on the spreadsheet so far. Precious little green.
It is a bit of a mess. There were weeks last year where somebody got all picks right. It wasn't me, but like
it happened multiple times, I believe, last year. Not so this year. Cousin Steve came through with 3 green games and 2 red games, so he gets 12 points this week to at least get himself on the board. One of the games that he chose was the Bills as the money line, as the home favorite. So he only got 2 points for that one. But the right call, as it turns out, because if he had taken the -1.5 there, then it would have been a loss. So well executed there, Cousin Steve. On the board with 12 points, but sadly still in the caboose overall. Lori and I now have 20 points through 2 weeks, and Abe is out in front with 25 points after a weekend in which he gets just 1 game correct, which is the Chargers as the outright winners
I
over
only
the
got
Chiefs.
1 game right.
I was directionally right in just about all of them. It's not my fault that Texas pulled their effort. I don't know what happened in that game. They could have easily cleared the 36.5. They didn't. Falcons sucked as usual, shanked it. And the Jets, that could have gone either way. Neither Jimmy nor I won it, but that could have gone the Jets' way.
Yep. As I said earlier, it was Steelers -2.5. Jimmy had the Steelers minus the 2.5. Abe had the Jets as the outright winner. And the Steelers won by 2, which means both Jimmy and Abe lose their bets.
Jimmy's off to a very rough start. If he finishes the season underwater, it's going to be telling of where he is on the other side.
Oh, yeah. You've been listening to Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports with Bob and Abe, and Lori's here too. Find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us, including Cast Iron Brains, a podcast about news and culture, and the Billboard Hot 100 show, among other things still in the works. That's brainiron.substack.com, where you can sign up to receive the emails for absolutely free. But if you enjoy and appreciate what it is we're doing here, you can sign up to become a paying subscriber as well. There are no real meaningful added benefits to that, except the satisfaction of supporting something that you are enjoying. The opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com. For more from Mark. Abe, anything else in the world of sport strike your fancy this week?
Yeah, there's a school out west in Torrance, California, Bishop Montgomery High School. They forfeited their entire season this year because of some chicanery with like a local bagman who is there was an unusually high number of transfers to this high school. I think it was like 20 kids transferred to the school, and there were some payments being made, improper payments, and so the school basically told whomever, like the runs the high schools, that they had found this issue, and they're self-imposing a forfeit over the whole season. Like a week prior, there was a scuffle with another high school. This team, like where the head coach had to be fired as a result. This team is like a total mess. But it's interesting that there is this guy who is kind of facilitating payments, and he has done this at other places too. And he claims that the school was aware of it, and that he's being thrown under the bus. Like that's his argument.
It's sad.
Imagine that being like the thing that you're into.
Yeah.
Like what I'm into is going around the country and handing out thousands of dollars to teenagers to get them to transfer schools for football purposes.
Yeah. That's, yeah.
So it's a weird life.
It's a weird life, yeah. But, some people are very much into the... Usually
it's
it'll
my primary takeaway from the Connor Stallions thing was, he's just mentally ill for Michigan football, right? Like, he is mentally ill in the direction of Michigan football. Right.
There are some people that are way too into this stuff. I mean, often, like, Paul Feinbaum will have, like, these wackadoodle callers, especially after, like, a big weekend of college football. I think there was a bunch of raving lunatics after Alabama lost the season opener. And sometimes people think, they're just kind of playing it up for the radio show or for the cameras. But there are unhinged people out there. I mean, there was that guy that poisoned the tree.
Which do you think is more likely? That they wait on hold to talk to Paul Feinbaum for an hour and a half so that they can scream and yell into the television that they're no doubt like watching as they're talking into the phone, right?
Yeah.
What's more likely? Yeah. That they are doing this as a joke about themselves or about other fans of this school, or about like if they're pretending to be an Auburn person, they're secretly an Alabama person, but they're pretending to be unhinged in order to make Auburn people look bad? Or is it more likely that among the psychos in the world, of which there are many, just based on any normal distribution, that this is just an authentic performance of psychotic behavior?
Right. They latched on to this, but like it could have been anything else in theory.
Right. And I think it's obvious that for the most part, these are just mentally unwell people in the direction of the thing that they care about.
Right. But, typically, like going back to the story with the high school out west, typically it'll be like some crazed person who's passionate about his high school team, not like helping another team out. Like, I mean, there was that Friday Night Lights TV show where I think the car dealer guy was kind of like the greasing the palms and doing things underhanded. But that was for his school that he grew up in, this town that he's known since he was born, blah, blah, blah. This guy just seems to be like, I like the action,
Right. He likes that. He found his niche.
Yeah.
He found the thing that he's good at.
Yeah.
And God made the world, and God made me to find my place in it. And my place in it happens to be dropping off $3,500 straps to 16-year-olds so that they'll go be the defensive end for this Catholic high school out west.
What's odd is, like college football is big money. So I understand the money driving a lot of the behavior. What sort of money is in high school football out like in Torrance or whatever? Like, who cares about? It's weird that so many kids would be induced to come into the school to play for this program that now didn't have a team this year because they forfeited the rest of the schedule. Where's the money?
In the context of my little league, I hear people talking about how, no, we can't upset this person because they'll stop bringing in kids to our little league, right? Like, we don't want to step on those toes because he's brought in 12 or 15 kids in the last 2 years to our little league. And that is... It is, in some small part, a comment just on, like, the overall health of the league, right? Like, it's good when we have more kids in our situation here, especially more talented kids, etc. But, like, underlying that is also, and they paid their $75 to be part. Like we can't afford somehow to lose the revenue.
I see.
Like, and what we charge is nothing, right? We charge enough to sort of cover the uniform cost.
Right.
But, like, whatever. The point is just people will, in their small little worlds.
People decide what's important to them.
They decide what's important to them. Yep. Like, I don't know, there are people who will bet on high school football, and very low level high school football. They'll bet on middle school football. They'll bet on fucking peewee football. And there are bookies who you find them at the diner of your relatively small town there, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the guy that you go to if you want to put $100 down on the 8th graders playing the other 8th graders. And, like, it's a thing. Like, and like, in their small little world, they're the dude, right? And, like, they get a bit of a kick out of being the dude in that way.
That's true.
Something that I crossed my mind or struck my anti-fancy in the world of sport this weekend was the following.
Hold on, guys. I actually think this is our year.
Oh, no.
Okay. Jaden Daniels, Super Bowl.
What? No. When pigs fly.
You rang.
The Pope said Caleb and the best brave deep.
Lions hunting Super Bowls, biting kneecap in a Jeep.
Blizzard on the field.
We got a three-headed goat.
ATL always a ton.
I'm on a dolphin, not the float. Cut. Guys, my legs are chafing. I need some baby powder, seriously.
Travis Hunter double trouble.
Lights out in the black hole.
Yo, cool, icy cold. It's time to rock and roll.
Giant size hopes you can handle the risk.
But you gotta beat the champs, cause you know what it is. Come on, ride the float.
That is a commercial. If you saw it once this weekend, you probably saw it 25 times.
Or heard it because you're looking away.
I saw it. It feels like I saw it 100 times. This can't possibly be your first exposure to it, Dave.
I've seen this. What a monstrosity. Like, I don't know who signed off on this. Like, just because you shoot a commercial doesn't mean you have to run it. Like, there's been stories like on like the HBO exec, like there was some Batgirl that apparently wasn't any good. He's like, fuck it, we'll just shelve it, just move on. Just
right? Didn't they make like a Wile E. Coyote movie or something that never saw the light of day? Like,
I don't remember the Wile E. Coyote one, but I do remember.
There's something. There's definitely I think there was a cartoon. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
But yeah, but like this should, like, I'm sure they pitch ideas and they shoot it and then they edit it, they cut it up, and then okay, this is the final product. This is like July, like in anticipation of the season. You watch this, you're like, no, we're not putting this. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's hard for me to not allow this 60-second commercial for the NFL to speak to everything. I know it's a disease of mine, right? Like
you should.
I want to drill down on, speaking of mental illness in the direction of something, right? I have a mental illness in the direction of believing that I can take a pop cultural moment and drill down on it and explain how it's what's wrong with everything, right? It's not good. But this is
But you're right this time.
Yeah.
It's so offensive to me as someone who wants to enjoy the product that the NFL puts out, right? Like, I want to like football. I do like football. I would say that I like college football now more as an overall product. Like, the balance has shifted, right? Like, I used to say I can turn on any NFL game and watch it because it's like something fun and exciting is going to happen. And I think especially in the aughts and the early part of this, like, I don't know, from 2007 until a few years ago, like during the offensive explosion.
The Odell Beckham years.
Yeah, you might even say the Odell Beckham years. Like, the Matt Stafford career arc maps neatly onto it as I'm describing it. But, like, you could turn on the NFL and watch any game, and something fucking awesome or spectacular was likely to happen. Or at the very least, it would be a fun thing to watch. And that's, for whatever reason, I enjoy college football now more. But, like, I want to, like, I am a willing participant in the NFL nonsense. There's something weird about this commercial where everyone is, like, I know I go off on, like, we are humiliation fetishists now, but, like, these are all grotesques, right? Like, all of them, the people who are meant to be the primary and most rabid consumers of this product that's supposed to be the celebration of America, right? As much as, like, so we were at the restaurant the other night, last night, and Calvin was filling out the child's menu quiz. Like, on the child's menu, there's a sports trivia section. And it's like, name America's favorite sport or the national sport of America. It didn't even say national
pastime.
It didn't say pastime. It said, like, the national sport of the United States.
Well, it also said Canada.
Right. So, like, name the national sport of Canada, name the national sport of America. And he wrote down football. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. I think it's baseball is what they're trying to get at here in this question. But in reality, the national sport of America at this point, like, and really, if you look at the television ratings, all anybody cares about as a collective anymore is football, and specifically the NFL, right? Like, the 90 of the top 100 most watched programs this year are going to be nationally broadcast football games. Right. It's not quite that stark, but it's basically that stark.
I mean, I don't think that's wrong.
But then you look at the people in this commercial, and they're all a bunch of either dopes or psychos, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, but that's just how we are.
The only person who's not, like, an obviously negative caricature of the thing is the chick who's doing the lead singing. She's wearing a Steelers jersey. She's doing the "Come on, ride the boat and ride it" or whatever. Like, what does that even mean? Ride the float? And, like, I don't know what they're trying to say here, but, like,
They don't either.
She is not willfully offensive, but, like, the Chicago Bears guy is ridiculous.
Right.
This person is awful. Like, the woman who's saying something about the Lions.
Lions hunting Super Bowls, biting kneecap energy.
This is a truly obnoxious individual with the three-headed goat for Kelsey and Mahomes and Andy Reid. But then it turns even darker. I mean, whatever. You can go piece by piece and find me someone who's not, like, offensive. Like, if you're a Falcons fan and you're being represented by this idiot. Like, this is at least the moment of levity with the Dolphins fan, I suppose, is less offensive to you. But, like, then we go to the Raiders and the Giants. What is with the weird mohawk baby? Like, it's a weird grotesquerie from, like, American Horror Story or something. And, like, the line delivery on this Joe Burrow moment.
Yo, cool, icy cold.
Why is there a 300-foot-tall 9-year-old who also appears to be an obese baby, right? It's not just that he's...
Giant size hopes you can handle the risk.
I dare you to tell me that that's not actually a 50-year-old man with infantilism or whatever. Like, whatever that disease is that makes someone look like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, this obese 9-year-old seems to be also in his mid-50s, but also perhaps just 2. Like,
Yes.
it's so weird.
You know, now that you mentioned it, this kid I've seen before, and the guy riding the dolphin I've seen before. They're like internet
Wait, are these
people.
influencers?
So at least 2 of these people are internet people, and so I wonder, is everyone like from some
They
weird
must
corner,
be.
and that's how they're stitching this together? We're like, oh, I know that guy with the aura and whatever.
At official Jaguar Gator 9 4 days ago. Last month, I passed the most painful gallstones in my life.
Okay.
And had to get gallbladder surgery. This is somehow more painful than that.
You should give that a like.
At Baldylocks2356 3 days ago, one of the highest earning companies in the world using AI slop in their opening weekend commercials. Sad. And that is something else we hadn't pointed out yet. It is all entirely in the uncanny valley, right?
Yeah.
It is happening, but also very clearly not happening. The faces don't look real. None of the stuff that's happening is obviously happening in the real world. And I didn't realize that these were somehow internet famous people, I guess, is what you're saying here.
I don't know, because I don't know the other people, but I've seen, like, one of them is like Drewski, because I see him all the time on the internet. And then the kid I've seen before in like some New York related stuff.
And like these Eagles fans, they just won the Super Bowl. Like, they're notoriously unpleasant people, right? Like, that's the reputation that they have. And then this?
But you gotta beat the champs, cause you know what it is.
Why would this entice anyone to participate in the NFL? Like, and who was thinking that it would help? I am so heartened by the YouTube comment section here that they're all with me. At Marlon Mueller 6506.
It's the ones you're seeing.
4 days ago. Whoever came up with this idea deserves something. 5 to 7 years in Leavenworth.
You know, I lost a lot of confidence in the YouTube comment section during the Billboard music game, because like it doesn't matter what kind of garbage music it is. It's like, oh my God, I met my husband 20 years ago and we love this fucking song. Like, it was all positive stuff. But now this is actually pretty representative of the video we just watched.
At Daniel Dew 88 3 days ago, this is the worst thing I've ever seen during an NFL match, and I'm a lifelong Bears fan.
Match.
At Laduzzi 052 2 days ago, congratulations, NFL. You have discovered a way to violate all of my senses at once. It makes me feel like we will never quite be able to do things again when I watch something like this. Like, we have clearly peaked. It must be the case that this is an eat my shorts thing going on here, where I wrote an essay a long time ago saying that the eat my shorts from Bart Simpson is the sort of joke that has it both ways, in the way that a lot of beer commercials try to have it both ways, right? Like, you're doing the stupid thing in order to get a laugh out of the bottom quintile of retards who just laugh at the stupid thing, and also to get a laugh out of the top quintile of smart people who recognize that you're doing a thing to make the dummies laugh, and what the top quintile of people are laughing at smugly is the dummies who are laughing at the dumb thing. Right. At the same time that you're getting the dollar from the dummy, you're getting the dollar from the smart guy, and it's like that meme where the two hands shake happily because you have the coming together of like, and it's also like what is the meme where you have like the Jedi troll face guy on one end who's very, very smart, and the idiot on the other end of the bell curve, and they're like,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the dummy over here and the smart guy over here, but they have the same opinion about the thing that they're saying. Like, is this a work by the NFL?
No.
Is it or do the people at the NFL think this is awesome? And are there people who think that this is awesome? According to the YouTube comment section, nobody thinks this is awesome.
Nobody
according
seems
to
to think.
your YouTube comment section.
Right, according to, sure, if you think that influences the comments that I'm seeing here.
I wonder if they're just not putting any effort into, to this? Like, I don't know. Did they just like commission some crappy company to like come up with this, and just to save money, and they use like this AI nonsense to kind of make it more, I don't know, feasible?
Creepy? More creepy?
Yeah. It seems like not a lot of thought. I mean, there have been some well-done commercials in the past, and campaigns of commercials of different products. But this is just like, ooh, just pull it out. I don't. Do you think that they're showing it tonight during the Monday night thing?
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna see it every week.
I think this is probably the last week, right? They're gonna pull. I think the feedback is gonna be like, just let's not air this again.
I don't know. This is one of
Why?
those.
What do
because
they have to lose? Are we going to stop watching
That's true, yeah.
football?
Yeah.
We're not going to stop watching football.
They paid all that money for the rights to that song that they chose to bastardize, right? Like, they're not going to give up on it now. Very unpleasant. And it just, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I really don't.
Oh.
I don't like where this is going.
Bob,
I don't.
Just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Anyway, Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
Well, I guess that's all we've got for you tonight then, and we will talk to you next time.
Later.
We just do 2 hours of
Yeah,
balls?
because you don't fucking listen to me.
Oh, jeez.
Another quick one.
It's good content, though, I think, probably.
Yeah, but you can choose which podcast you want to do next. We don't have time for
Safe to hit the button now that I'm done asking inappropriate, borderline racist questions about hair and stuff.
How's the knitting coming along?
It's crocheting. There is a difference.
Get it right or pay the price, Abe.
Wait, there's I thought that was the same thing. What's the difference?
The main difference is that knitting has 2 needles.
Ah.
Like this. I have one. It's a hook.
Okay. Oh, there's a little hook. Look at that.
No hook, but needles are straight.
Okay.
And your knitting is harder, but it's
Knitting is more for people with the dexterous hands of the Asians.
Oh, yeah?
Because they can do 2, like the chopsticks.
No.
They can actually knit with 4 needles because they're so accustomed to using the chopsticks, 2 in each hand.
Stop.
God, I wasn't done doing racist shit.
Stop.
Why did I press the button?
But it's going well. I finished the blanket I was working on, and now I'm working on this other thing.
Nice.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.